It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Sunday, the 26th of October. I'm Michael Groff. The overall weather pattern not changing very much around here for the next several days, and that means dry conditions, temperatures above average, and pretty good likelihood we'll have daytime highs exceeding 90 degrees here in Phoenix at least a few times this upcoming week. When might this pattern finally change? When will it cool down? When will the rain chances return? We'll talk about that. Plus, we've got an absolute monster of a storm in the Caribbean. That's Melissa, now a Category 4 hurricane. And we'll get you the particulars on all of that, plus everything else going on, too, as we dive on in and discuss. First, the almanac from yesterday, 88 degrees the afternoon high, 63 was the morning low. 86 and 62 are the averages for this time of year. Taking a look outside right now at 10:35 a.m., sunny sky across the area, 75 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew points at 45, relative humidity 34%. The winds are light and the barometer is falling. Satellite picture out here across the west, a few high clouds over parts of Arizona, but otherwise mostly clear sky, and those clouds will move on out. The main storm track will remain well to the north of us. High pressure is still the dominant feature for us and will remain so, westerly flow aloft. So that keeps conditions quiet around here for the foreseeable future. The watch warning map, we've got some wind advisories over parts of the Dakotas, Minnesota, scattered about here in the west, a few high wind warnings for portions of Montana. Winter storm warnings around Yellowstone. The snowflakes are flying up there, not particularly unusual here in the month of October. And some flood watches, parts of Florida around Orlando. Some locally heavy rain possible there, and some scattered heavy rain across portions of the southeast as well. Some flood watches ongoing. All right, the convective outlook, we've got the standard slight risk of severe storms, level 2 out of 5 around Mobile, Gulf Shores, Alabama. Maybe parts of the far northwest portions of Florida along the immediate Gulf Coast and the Panhandle there. The marginal risk in the adjacent areas. But for the most part across the southeast, some rumbles of thunder and some locally heavy rain will be what you're contending with there. The tropics in the Atlantic Basin, well, other than the obvious on the board, it's pretty quiet, but the obvious, well, that's a bull in a china shop right there. You've got Melissa. Look at the satellite presentation on this feature. I remind you, we did our video, about 25 hours ago, our last video, and this was still a tropical storm at the time we were doing that update. And now this is a Category 4 monster of a hurricane. Look at the satellite as we put this in motion. You can see how this is blown up over a little over the last about 26 hours. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And a very well-defined eye. And of course, this sits about 110 miles to the southeast of Kingston, Jamaica right now. And this is not going to be moving much for the next few days, just meandering toward Jamaica. The eye will eventually cross the island, but there's so many layers to this. First of all, just the incredible rainfall that's going to be produced by a system like this. Not to mention the winds that continue to increase now, 140 mile per hour winds with this feature, according to the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center. Of course, some higher gusts. Now, that's right near the center, and Jamaica is not necessarily seeing those winds right now. But even on the outer bands, winds 60, 70, 80, 90 miles an hour, just continuing to batter the island. And we have the prospect of a few tornadoes in those outer bands, not to mention storm surge as this eye gets closer. So many factors to deal with. And it's not just Jamaica, parts of Cuba, Haiti, and eventually up into the Bahamas and Bermuda. This thing is doing the entire Kokomo song as it moves across the Caribbean and up to the Bahamas and Bermuda. And that's going to continue to move off to the northeast later this week and eject very quickly. Now, this will not impact the east coast of the United States, despite still some of the posts I've seen out there, the misinformation. But regardless, it is a potentially devastating, catastrophic storm for Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, even into parts of the Dominican Republic, some locally heavy rain. How much rain are we talking about? This is the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center for Haiti. Locally, 16 inches plus there. But for portions of Jamaica, we could see as much as 40 inches of rain from this feature. 40 inches of rain. Phoenix, we posted this graphic yesterday in our thumbnail. Phoenix averages about 7.25 inches of rain a year. This is almost 6 years of average rainfall in Phoenix falling over the course of a few days in Jamaica. And even elsewhere, widespread 10 to 20 inch rainfall. That is a lot of rain in these areas. So needless to say, just one of the many concerns that we have with what will be a historic system when it's all said and done. And that is not said with hyperbole. All right. Then in the Pacific, now this is just Sonia. This is a big nothing burger out here. A tropical storm, top winds at 50 miles per hour. Now this probably won't even become a hurricane. It's going to just kind of drift off to the west-northwest, ultimately starting to fizzle out over the next few days. This will not impact the United States. This will not impact Mexico. This will not impact anybody. So keep that in mind. That's good news there. The precipitation outlook valid through next Sunday morning here across the southwest. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing statewide, nothing region-wide, not much. Again, main storm track stays to the north. So what's going on with this weather pattern in more detail? To figure that out right now, to dissect that, let's get to the models, have a look at things. This is the GFS. It's the 12Z run. This is valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet up. There's that area of low pressure over the southeast U.S., bringing some showers and thunderstorms down there. You see Melissa is way down on the lower right part of your screen there of our box. And we've got a trough well to the north of Arizona here in the southwest, heights above average, high pressure trying to build in. So as a result, down at the surface for the rest of the day today with that dry westerly flow, sunny sky. High temperatures will top out in the upper 80s here in Phoenix. In the warmest desert spots, low 90s or so. Up north, a few high clouds, places like Flagstaff and Winslow, Window Rock, St. John's. But other than that, pretty much mostly sunny sky there as well. All right, for tonight, clear sky, dry air, overnight lows mainly in the mid-50s in the cool spots, low to mid-60s in the urban core. Tomorrow, it's more of the same, sunny with highs upper 80s here in Phoenix, low 90s for the warmest desert spots. Tuesday, we'll tack on a degree or two, highs in the upper 80s and low 90s for Phoenix, maybe even mid-90s for the warmest desert spots of southwest, western Arizona, southeast California. As we keep on going to Wednesday, we're mostly sunny, we're dry, high temperatures, again, upper 80s and low 90s. It's the same thing on Thursday. It's the same thing on Halloween, except we might take a degree or two off the afternoon highs, but for the most part, we're still well above average. The average high temperature in Phoenix on the 31st of October is 83 degrees. We will be several degrees above that. And again, dry conditions. So for the trick-or-treaters, you head out on Halloween about 5:30, 5:45, 6 o'clock. The sun is going down, so of course it starts to cool off quickly. Temperatures will drop through the 70s, and by the time you wrap it up, 8 or 9 o'clock, we might be in the upper 60s in some of the cooler spots. So it'll still be very, very nice for Halloween, despite the fact that the day will be on the warm side. All right, as we kick off the new month, same weather pattern here. High temperatures still in the mid to upper 80s for next Saturday. A week from today, this is Sunday, the 2nd of November. High pressure is in control, 588 ridge here over the southwest, and temperatures remain above average, if that's right. Keep it going. This is Monday, the 3rd, and again, still high pressure is in control. A weak wave may kind of move through the flow here and give us a few high clouds. We've seen some semblance of that on other runs as well, but all in all, no real change in the overall weather pattern. Temperatures to remain above average. The main storm track is far away from us. This is the end of the forecast period, Tuesday, the 4th of November. And again, high pressure is in control across much of the west and even into the plain states. So temperatures above average with dry conditions to continue. Looking at rainfall for Phoenix, this goes out through the 9th of November. And we laugh legitimately because nothing. I mean, nothing. You got 31 members here. Basically no rain on the ensemble mean. European ensemble, 51 members. It's essentially the same story. European AI, a few members that try to bring in some rain way out there toward about, day 11 or 12, but the ensemble mean is only about 200ths of an inch. So essentially, through at least the first week of November, we see no sign of any precipitation here in Phoenix or really across most of the southwest United States. Very, very dry. Now, that's not particularly unusual for this time of year. Winter storm season here in Phoenix usually doesn't start until sometime toward mid and late November, when we can really start to get those winter storms, the westerlies, sag further south before we start to see some rainfall around here. And obviously with the influence of La Nina, it's hard to say how that's going to play out this year, right? But certainly the pattern does look like it will favor below average precipitation, at least through a portion of the upcoming winter. All right, temperatures off the national blend of models, that's pretty consistent. Highs 86 to 91 every single day for the next 12, 13 days or so, at least through the first week of November. It's very quiet. And overnight lows, yeah, they'll be in the 60s, but that's in the mid-city. Of course, most of you will be in the 50s to near 60, away from the urban core in downtown Phoenix. So at least those overnight lows are much more tolerable, much more pleasant. Just got to shave a few more degrees off of those high temperatures, but overall, not bad. All right, let's look at the CPC outlook, the 8 to 14-day period. And if this is right, temperatures out here across most of the West and even into the Plain States will be heavily skewed. The probability is heavily skewed toward above average, with below average temperatures for the eastern portion of the country. Unfortunately, precipitation is heavily skewed toward below average for much of the southern and central plains, and even out here into Arizona, probability is still skewed toward below average for most of us, near average maybe for the southwestern portion of the state and parts of the West Coast. But generally speaking, yeah, dry conditions will continue for a while. And that is going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. And should you happen to enjoy these videos, well, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. And if you're really enjoying what we do here, you want to support the channel, well, then click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube, just like Barbara did the last couple of days. Thank you so much, Barbara. Of course, she's big in the TCF community, the Courtroom Files YouTube community, and she comes over here and helps us out as well and is supportive. We have a lot of cross-contamination within the communities, and we love that. So I really appreciate all your support, Barbara, and everybody else who clicks that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube as well. That really does help us out. Of course, you can also use our PayPal. It's groffshow@gmail.com. That's our PayPal address, groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. Our Venmo is also linked up down in the description below. Michael-Groff-37, if you're wondering. Yes, you can also help us out that way. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Blogs, of which there's a brand new one, including a guest blog. Yes, Michelle is so fancy on her site. She even has guest writers as well. But yes, new blog posted over there, so check that out. And Michelle is always cooking up new blogs and new material for Sweet Child, so give that a look. Videos and everything else that is Michelle related, Kylie related, and yes, Adriana related. Yeah, check it all out. It is all linked up down in the description below. What else here? Oh, our streaming station, of course, available 24/7, 365. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music and have a lot of fun with that. Just having a little bit of a senior moment there. I tell you what, sometimes you just start forgetting things. When you get to my age and you start just talking about whatever, for whatever reason, you just drift in and out of comas and all this sort of thing. In any event, also, want you to check out Dan over at the Courtroom Files YouTube channel, The Courtroom Files on YouTube, or courtroomfiles.com for all your Courtroom Files merch. Dan and the Courtroom Files and his community are a big supporter of ours, so let's be reciprocal and do the same for him. He's been great to us. You be great to him. And I scratch your back, you scratch my back. It's all wonderful. All right, so let's do that. In addition, over on the Courtroom Files YouTube channel this coming week and the following week as well, scary though it may be, You can catch me over there Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time. I will be hosting the live show. It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to this. So really, it's a good time. Go check it out. That'll be the next 2 weeks. I'll be filling in for Dan over there, not only for that, but for Sidebar Tuesdays and Thursdays as well. All right. Thank you guys once again so much for all of your continued support, everything that you do. We could not do this whole channel. None of this would be possible without you. I mean, I guess technically I could just sit here and talk to nobody, but what fun would that be? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's where we're all going to be. One day we'll just be talking to nobody. It'll be all AI slop one day anyway, right, on YouTube, so who knows? All right, thank you again. Please, though, I want you guys to be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and have yourselves a delightful rest of your Sunday.